When a car company asks you to fly to the other side of the world to test one of its latest machines on one of the world's most exclusive racetracks, you reckon it might be something pretty special. And it is. This is Peugeot's updated 308 GTI. And what makes it so special, you ask? Well, let me show you. It's got a new grille, and a new bonnet, and a bit of safety stuff, and that's kind of it. Launched in 2015, the Peugeot 308 GTI 270, to give it its full name, is a proper front-wheel drive hot hatch built by a company who pretty much invented the category with its legendary 205 GTI. It's packing a 1.6-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine under the bonnet that sends le power to the front wheels through a limited slip diff and a 6-speed manual gearbox. At a nick over 1200 kilos, it's pretty sharp for a 5-door hatch as well. This update really is just tinkering around the edges though. As mentioned, here's that brand new grille, black in colour, reprofiled bonnet and headlights, and the rear tail lights have been tinted as well, just to keep it within the Peugeot family. Not cutting edge, but it just tidies up the car a bit. In here, meanwhile, the only changes are graphics updates to the multimedia system and the addition of an optional safety pack, which includes AEB, lane keep assist, blind spot warning, as well as adaptive cruise control. The turbo engine still makes 200 kilowatts and 330 newton meters of torque, which does put cars like the Volkswagen Golf GTI and the Ford Focus ST firmly in its rearview mirror. Having said that though, the 308 GTI does cost around $50,000, which is more like GTI Performance or Focus RS money. It's still 11mm lower than the standard 308 and still uses the same stiffer dampers and springs as before as well. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's not worry about blacker grills and tintier taillights. Today is more of a refresher course in French hot hatchery. The 308 GTI is only, after all, a couple of years old, and it's held in pretty high regard around the world. Oh, and we're going to have to wait until we get it home to drive it on the road, because today is all about the racetrack. You won't be surprised then when I tell you that the new 308 GTI drives exactly like the old 308 GTI, which actually isn't all that old anyway. The interior is still bang up to date and it works well for both driver and passengers. We were actually expecting Peugeot to announce a dual clutch gearbox or an automatic version of the 308 GTI, which is currently only available in a 6-speed manual. But engineers tell us that they had a choice to make between the Torsen limited slip diff and an automatic gearbox. And to give the 308 that GTI-ness, they decided to go with the diff. So we won't see any form of automatic in this life cycle of the car. And while I reckon Peugeot Australia would dearly love to have an automatic version, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the manual. The 308 GTI really is a genuinely good hot hatch. The teeny tiny steering wheel makes the front end easy to work with, and the extra wheelbase length over something like a 208 GTI means that it's more stable at speed. The engine too is a corker. Because it's smaller in capacity, it is a little bit slower to come on boost, but when it arrives, it is on. I'm pleased to report that the new grille on the 308 GTI looks just fantastic. And to be honest, they don't really need to do too much more to it. It's a great little hot hatch in its own right. The 308 GTI is just magnifique.